Hi, everybody. My name is Jordan Balhorn, and this is 8th grade debate curriculum night video. So, welcome. So a little bit about me. I am originally from Michigan. I moved out to Seattle 5 years ago. Pretty much just took the leap, had never visited the West Coast, didn't know anybody. And I'm so fortunate and just incredibly lucky to have landed at Islander Middle School because the kids are great, the community so great, and really just the people that I get to work with every day. I love. And so it's been incredible, and I'm really excited to go into this 6th year teaching here. I teach debate, but I also teach 8th grade social studies. So I'm sorry if you're watching this and seeing the same video as my social studies one. But I graduated from Grand Valley State University with a degree in secondary education and group social studies and a minor in French. So I can speak French, which I don't teach, I haven't taught while I've been at Islander, but it's sometimes fun to help the kids out or sub for the French teacher every now and then. But yeah, I'm really stoked to be out here. It's beautiful, and I've just been loving my time out here. So a little bit about debate. You can see here that we learn the skills of argument, speaking, and listening. And all three of these components are so crucial to students having debates effectively. So in our class, we really set up the trimester practicing and like learning these skills. And then we get into our whole class debates the second half of the trimester. And so when we look at the skills of argument, students are working on presenting claims that are strategic, that they are connected, and they have strong evidence for support. They're not just kind of spewing their opinions. And we really discuss like what makes a valid argument. We discuss like where are we getting our credible sources and evidence. And so they have to think about what is the most effective argument that they can use to win. And also, when we look at speaking, it's all about how they present their arguments. How can they be persuasive? How can they use confidence, like having eye contact, volume, engagement techniques to persuade the audience to vote for them. But I also tell students that being a good debater doesn't mean that you are the most confident or loudest person in the room. And it needs to be backed with evidence. You need to be knowledgeable. And so I think that helps for a lot of students who might be involved in debate and are a little bit on the quieter side and worry about that aspect. And then finally, but probably the most important, is listening. So students will practice listening to each other, evaluating the claims that are stated, and thinking about the effectiveness and the relevance, and how do we pick holes in an argument, and how can we respond. So all three of these are the main skills that we practice. So why we work. Debate is so crucial, and having discussion is so crucial. And I just want to commend all of your students for signing up for this class, even if they thought that this was just going to be fun to argue with one another. I think it's so important that they learn these skills of having discussions and hearing each other out, because our society can just seem so divided, and we often just want to shut each other out. And if someone disagrees with us, we're not willing to have that discussion. And so my goal really is to teach students that we need to listen to the other side before we respond. We need to attempt to have some common ground, that we can find evidence, we can have reasoning, and hopefully make it to the other side where we can kind of see each other's thoughts and feelings. And so this quote from Ken Johnson in TED Ed is that if I expect you to be open to my idea, then I must be open to your idea. And that is such a valid quote when we think about debate. So how we work. So like I said, students really are working to practice these skills of speaking, listening, and argument, and they work in groups and individually to do this. So a lot of the first I would say 6 weeks of class, we are practicing crafting arguments. We're having mini debates. We're evaluating the evidence that we've found. We reflect on the feedback that we are receiving. We're going to do silly speaking games and tongue twisters and all that fun stuff to get comfortable with each other and be able to take risks before I have students present in front of one another and actually have a live debate. And so we try to build community through less serious topics like, you know, does pineapple belong on pizza? And we have those like fun moments where the last part of the trimester is really grappling with heavier, more serious debates and really getting kids to think critically about the world that we live in. So the big questions that we have are the different debate topics that will come up at the end of the trimester. And I just want to clarify too that we do not debate human rights or dignity. Those aren't up for debate. And I talk to students about that. So yeah. So in class debates, typically students will work in teams, I would say 2 or 3, and have 4 to 5 days to research and craft their arguments. And then after the research, students will have debates live in class. And when students aren't debating, they are the judges. They get to evaluate the effectiveness of their classmates. And we talk about that. How do we remain unbiased, which is really difficult for middle schoolers when we think about it. And how do they just think critically about what their classmates are saying? I try to shoot for 3 rounds. So where students are planning, prepping for a debate, have the debate, and then they do that 3 times, which roughly takes us about 6 weeks. So I try to plan accordingly so that we have ample time to get through those debates in the trimester. So, how to help your debater at home? I would encourage you to have students listen to podcasts, radio, audiobooks. The more that they can be listening and thinking about something, the better, because listening is a hard skill to learn. It's hard for us to be listening critically without just like zoning out and thinking about something else. So the more that they listen to outlets like that, the better. And then having follow-up conversations about the things that were brought up is amazing. And I want you to push them to be curious, right? Research things that they don't know, because the more knowledge they have, the better they can debate because they have context for things, or they can see pathways for how they can argue something. And of course, when they start to debate chores or expectations at home, push them to provide evidence for their claims so they're not just giving you their opinion. So please encourage them to use those skills at home too. We use a lot of class technology, so you can kind of see these apps here. For the most part, everything is in class. We really don't need to use a lot of these apps outside of class, but Schoology is a great place to see all the activities that we're doing. Unfortunately, I can't exit out of the slideshow, but please take a tour of Schoology with your student. I have weekly folders, daily folders. Everything that I use in class and present with students at school is posted on Schoology as well. So it is very clear what we have been doing, and if your student's absent, they should check Schoology. We use standards-based grading, so everything that is graded will have a proficiency skill or rubric, and will tell students how to level up. I give lots of feedback, and we will have lots of conversations about being prepared, engaging with work, and adjusting our work habits if needed. If you saw my social studies video, you know that the story of the work that we do in class is posted on Schoology. So those daily activities, the practices, kind of that lead up to the evidence is all posted on Schoology. And then that evidence, what I'm looking at in terms of assessment, is posted on Cumulative. So those are the stepping stones on Schoology, and then those big markers of how your child is doing in certain skills is posted on Cumulative. Students receive lots of feedback from me along the way. We reflect, we change things, and please know that students will get a lot of work time in class, and they also have Gator time. Late work and redos, I do accept late work. Students will have lots of opportunities to redo because they repeat debates. They repeat those skills over and over again in this class and will have lots of time to show me their best learning. And I do accept like most recent learning. So if they didn't do too well in their first debate, but then they're killing it, they're rocking it, their last two debates, then I update grades as needed. Here's my contact info. I will respond as soon as I can. I'm pretty on my email, so like, please know that I will be timely. And I do prefer email, but if you ever want to have a phone call, we can schedule that. No problem. And then the QR code that my face is blocking right now would be any help to donate to our classroom supplies. So if you would like to, I can send you the link to the Amazon wish list. So if you just like send me an email, that would be great, and I can give you the link. So I appreciate all that you do. It's really a team effort, and I know that this is going to be a great 8th grade year for all of your students, and I'm super excited. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks.